Our channel Alex21C Recommendations. We provide genuine, authentic product recommendations which helps consumers to get the best value for their money, saves time by doing value analysis on the items they would like to purchase, and recommends top products in that niche. So, in this video, we will discuss about what are the best anti-racist books. So here we are presenting, as you can see here on the screen, we have provided a list of 7 best anti-racism books. So we will talk about these books in this video one by one. So let's start. So the first book which we would like to recommend you is Just Mercy, a story of justice and redemption. This book is written by Bryan Stevenson. Now, let us talk about the book, that was inside this book for you guys. So, a very powerful true story about the potential for mercy to redeem us, and clarion call to fix our broken system of justice, from one of the most brilliant and influential lawyers of our time, Bryan Stevenson. His dedications to fighting for justice and equality has inspired me and many others and made a lasting impact on our country. Bryan Stevenson was a young lawyer when he founded the Equal defending those most desperate and in need, the poor, the wrongly condemned, and the women and children trapped in the farthest reaches of our criminal justice system. One of his first cases was that of a Walter McMillian, a young man who was sentenced to die for notorious murders he insisted he didn't commit. The case drew Bryan into a tangle of the conspiracy, political machinations, and legal brinkmanship, and transformed his understanding of mercy and justice forever. So this was all about the first book. Now the second book which we would like to recommend you is White Fragility. Why it's so hard for white people to talk about racism. So this book is written by Robin DiAngelo. Now let us talk about the book, that what's inside this book for you guys. So in this vital, necessary, and the beautiful book, anti-racist educator Robin DiAngelo deftly eliminates the phenomenon of white fragility and allows us to understand racism as a practice not restricted to bad people, referring to the defensive moves that white people make when challenged racially. White fragility is characterized by the emotions such as anger, fear, and guilt, and by the behaviors including argumentations and silence. These behaviors in turn functions to reinstate white racial equilibrium and prevent any meaningful cross-racial dialogue. In this in-depth explorations, DiAngelo examines how white fragility develops and how it protects racial inequality, and what we can do to engage more constructively. So this was all about the second book. Now the third book which we would like to recommend you is Why I Am No Longer Talking to White People About Race. So this book is written by Reni Eddo-Lodge. Now let us talk about the book, that what's inside this book for you guys. So Reni Eddo-Lodge wrote about her frustrations with the way that discussions of race and racism in Britain were being led by those who were not affected by it. She posted a piece on her blog entitled Why I Am No Longer Talking to White People About Race. Her words hit a nerve. The post went viral and comments flooded in from other desperate to speak up about their own experiences. Galvanized by this clear hunger for open discussion, she decided to dig into the source of these feelings, exploring issues from eradicated black history to the political purpose of white dominance, whitewash feminism to the inextricable link between the classes and the race. Rainy Eddo Lodge offers a timely and essential new framework for how to see, acknowledge, and counter racism. It is a searing, illuminating, absolutely necessary exploration for what it is to be a person of color in Britain today. So this was all about the third book. Now the fourth book which we would like to recommend you is How to Be an Anti-Racist by Ibram X. Kendi. Now let's talk about the book, that what's inside this book for you guys. So, anti-racism is a transformative concept that reorients and re-energizes the conversation about racism, and even more fundamentally point us toward liberating new ways of thinking about ourselves and each other. At its core, racism is a powerful system that creates false hierarchies of human value. Its root logic extends beyond race. From the way we regard people of different ethnicities or skin colors to the way we treat people of different sexes, gender identities, and body types. Racism intersects with class and culture, with geography, and even changes the way we see and value ourselves. In How to Be an Anti-Racist, Kendi takes reader through a widening circle of anti-racist ideas. From the most basic concept to the visionary possibilities that will help readers see all forms of racism clearly, understand the poisonous consequences, and work to oppose them in our system and in ourselves. Now the fifth book which we would like to recommend you is Stamped from the Beginning, The Definitive History of the Racist Ideas in America. So this book is again written by Ibram X. Kendi. Now let us talk about the book, that what's inside this book for you guys. So in this deeply researched and fast-moving narrative, Kendi chronicles the entire story of anti-black racist ideas and their staggering power over the course of American history. He uses the life stories of 5 major Americans intellectuals to drive this history. So this was all about the fifth book. Now the sixth book which we would like to recommend you is So You Want to Talk About. This book is written by Zioma Lo. Now let us talk about the book, that what's inside this book for you guys. In So You Want to Talk About Race, Zioma Lo guides readers of all the races through subjects ranging from model minorities in an attempt to make the seemingly impossible possible. Honest conversations about race and racism, and how they impact almost every aspect of American life. Generous and empathetic, yet useful blunt. It's for anyone who wants to be the smarter and more empathetic about matters of race and engage in more productive anti-racist action. So this was all about the sixth book. Now our last book, that is the seventh one which we would like to recommend you, is Black Like Me. So this book is written by John Howard Griffin. Now let's talk about the book, that what's inside this book for you guys. So Black Like Me is a non-fiction book by journalist John Howard Griffin. He published this in 1961. Griffin was a white native of Dallas, Texas, and the book describes his 6-week experience traveling on greyhound buses, occasionally hiking throughout the racial segregated states of Louisiana, Alabama, and Georgia, passing as a black man. Sepia Magazines financed the project in exchange for the right to print the account first as a series of articles. Griffin kept a journal of his experiences. The 188 pages diary was the genesis of the book. At the time of the book's writing in 1959, race relations in America were particularly strained, and Griffin aimed to explain the difficulties that black people faced in certain areas. Under the care of a doctor, Griffin artificially darkened his skin to pass as a black man. So this was all about the last book. So these are the 7 best anti-racism books. So if you want to buy them, you can get the product by visiting www.alex21c.com/recommendations, and we have already provided a direct link in the description box below. So that's all for today. See you guys in our next video. Till then, stay connected with us for more videos like this. Don't forget to subscribe and comment below. And yes, thanks for watching our video.